And we are live.
We are live.
Happy Wednesday, Lori.
Hey, Blake. How are you? Thanks so much for having me tonight.
I'm doing quite well. I'm parched. Hold on.
Parched. Go for it.
I've got a nice cool water in my Starbucks mug.
I love your mug. Your
Thank
tumbler.
you. Thank you. They were actually very hard to find.
Is that like one of the textured ones?
Yeah, it's got the little ASMR.
Do you know I had no idea what that meant until about 3 months ago?
Oh my gosh, I love ASMR. I found it like maybe a year ago, and it was, you can do ASMR with anything, but mine was soap. You dry out a bar of soap, but before you dry it out, you perforate it with like knives, and then you slice it once it's dried, and it falls and crumbles into little cubes.
No way.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, I haven't seen that. I just saw the women eating like large amounts of fried food, and it said ASMR, and they just have hundreds of thousands of views. And I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah. And like the whole mukbang ASMR crossover is like nuts.
Yes.
It's nuts.
Crazy.
I'm kind of gross, but like,
yeah,
I watch it. So
we're all watching.
Well, aside from ASMR mukbang chats, hello everyone who's tuning in. Hope you are all doing well this evening. I've got my lovely guest. I almost said ghost. Guest co-host. Lori Tata of Lori's Boston Found on Instagram, which you can find her links for her YouTube channel as well down in the description bar. So definitely check Lori out if you don't already know her, because she's phenomenal.
Thank you. Thank you, Blake.
You're so welcome. Everybody, make sure you give this video a thumbs up because we want to get trending, of course. Yeah. So today's topic for What Wednesdays is all about consignment. And there are two ways to consign, really, which is in-store, in person, which is kind of hard to do in some locations present day.
Right.
Or something that has really blown up while everyone's been quarantined is online. Online consignment, for example, at places like the Real Real or ThredUp. And we will touch base on those two a little bit later in the discussion today. But Lori lives in Boston, if you couldn't gather that.
Just outside Boston, like 20 miles outside.
Yeah. You're still looped into that.
We're looped in. Metro West.
Yes. Lori actually consigns in person when she can. And I actually have a couple questions about that. And like, let's get started.
Yeah.
So how did you find a consignment store? Because here in LA, I don't know that I could find an actual consignment store where you bring something in, they sell it, you get money, and you don't have to do anything.
Yes. So the town where I grew up has 2 consignment stores that I was familiar with. One of them was a children's consignment store that I went to, a decade ago when my kids were little and starting to grow out of their clothing. And then there was another one in town called Upscale Boutique, and it happens to be down the street from the Salvation Army. So I had been gearing up. I wasn't really doing a lot of in-person consigning until Thriftless February, which was this kind of series I did on my YouTube channel in the month of February, where I was just really trying to pull in the reins, not thrift, and just clear everything out. It was shortly before quarantine, obviously. I also Marie Kondoed my bedroom and got rid of an absurd amount of clothing in my room and life in general. So I was really in need of getting it out. So I hadn't been there to the upscale one in a very long time. I had done a little work with the children's consignment store, but I don't really sell a lot of kids' clothing now.
Yeah.
So they also do teenager juniors brand at the children's place, but I just wasn't having as much luck with them. So I went into this new consignment store, met the owner. She was lovely. And I really do like the personal connection with the in-person consigning, and you get a feel for what sells in the store just walking around. You see what they're pricing things at. I was able to source there as well, like waiting for them to go through my bags. So I just developed a relationship with the woman, and so every time I would go visit my mom and dad in my hometown, I would hit Salvation Army, and then on Saturdays I would drive to this place and drop off literally like 3 weeks in a row. I just kept dropping off a bag of 30, a bag of 30, a bag of 30. And when I would go the following week, she would have like whatever she didn't accept to give back to me. So fast forward, I was feeling really great about that. And I was watching my credits build, and I was just letting them build. And then everything shut down. So I had literally dropped off my stuff like the last couple of weeks of February, first week of March, and then boom. So I thought, I'm kind of in trouble now. Like these things are going to sit there for however long. When she reopened the store, I called and visited, because they go by the time. So if it's, if you purchase it in the first week, it's $20. If you purchase it 2 weeks later, you know how the price keeps getting lower. So by the time she reopened, it would have been time to redonate all of my donations.
Right.
So she sent a message out and said that she went in 7 days for 5 weeks and re-tagged everything so that when the store opened, they all had fresh tags.
You just started brand new when it opened.
So I started brand new. So I actually contacted her today to see what my balance was and how things were. And she gave me like my stats. So I can share that with you if you'd like, unless you just want to. So, okay.
Wait, actually real quick. So, when you sign up, do you have to sign up to consign with them? Like, do you have to sign a contract? I know I said I couldn't think of a store to consign in LA, but I was clearly Wednesday brain fog.
Yes.
We have a place called Crossroads.
Yep.
And you just bring it, wait, and they, give you, sometimes it's pennies. But I know some places you have to sign like a consignor agreement. Is that something you have to do?
I did, yes. And I can't even remember the percentage she gives Blake.
Is it like a flat? But is it like a flat rate? Because in the stores here,
I think you get a little bit more if you use it in store credit. But I, of course, took the buyout, so I think it's a little less. Maybe 40% is what I get from her. So we now have Plato's Closet, and when I lived in San Francisco, we used to always go to Buffalo Exchange. In Crossroads, I think those are similar in that when you bring your stuff in, they give you cash on the spot, and they're, very specific with the things that they're looking for. And I would say this, so when I do my consigning, I kind of do piles. Like I have this store, which is kind of my favorite store, but then I take like the younger, trendier stuff to Plato's Closet, which really isn't my favorite. I feel like I haven't quite figured them out yet. I'm getting better at it, but it's like over 30 minutes from my house. And then I get there and they pay, like you said, with Crossroads, like pennies. But I've been getting some porch pickups and donations from friends. So I don't really care if I'm getting $2 or $3 for things.
Right. Well, that's actually what I'll say. And then we can go into the numbers if you would like to share.
Sure.
I think for me, in the scale of reselling, I would say selling directly, like you selling via Poshmark, Mercari, eBay, that's like where you'll make the most money. Yeah. For most of the time.
Yes.
Secondary
percentage.
Exactly. Secondary might be cash in-person kind of situations, marketplace. But then like last, make the least amount of money, in my opinion, is when you do consignment, purely because you're paying essentially for someone else to take on the burden of the work.
They're doing all the work and you're splitting the profit. And in most cases, the higher percentage goes to the person selling it for you. So
Exactly.
But it's a huge convenience. And I think when we do get bogged down as resellers with, over purchasing or just in influx, like for me, even if I'm not over purchasing, if my daughter goes through her closets, it's like all of a sudden I inherit 30 pieces of clothing and like I need to decide what to do with it, or a friend drops off a bag or something like that, so I feel like it can sneak up, like clothes like multiply in my house when I'm not looking.
Yeah. We actually had some good questions.
Sure.
Plato's and Clothes Mentor are my absolute favorites for both buying and selling. I have never been to either of those places. I don't know what a Clothes Mentor is, and I recently became aware, like within the last year, of a Plato's Closet. Mm-hmm. I think it's a regional thing.
Maybe. I know Plato's Closet, like my daughter goes there with her friends. Like she's 18, they go, they're not so concerned about brand. They're looking more for style. They take Target brands and they love, Abercrombie and things like that, things that don't go for quite as much reselling. So in that regard, it's really wonderful.
Yeah.
And I have friends that buy specifically to bring to Plato's Closets who shop at the bins, and they just know what they're looking for. So like you just mentioned, who said she loved Plato's right now. If you know what they're looking for, I think that can be such a phenomenal resource. I am missing the mark somehow there. So it hasn't really been.
Well, I think part of it is it's always changing. It doesn't like it could be whatever brand, but if it's not if it's not the season for denim jeans, they're not buying them. Like I don't care if it's Prada, Gucci, like we're not buying them.
Right.
Because we're not going to sell them. At least seasonality is very important here in LA. Like there's always an abundance of everything. So like they were very clear on what they will and will not take. Does anyone take stuff from the bins straight to Plato's Closet? I have not personally done that. Have you done that?
I have not, but the woman who I was just referring to is my friend, Mira, who is the Modern Beat on Instagram. She's a real hot ticket. She has so much energy, and she will literally show you. She does 2 carts at the bins, and she's like, this is going to Plato's, and she won't even go home with it. Like if it's clean enough,
yeah,
she'll obviously take the funky stuff home and wash it. And I think Jack and Ryan have also tested that, where they go direct. She's gotten really good. She lives up in Maine. So when I went up there to go thrifting with her, she would say, oh, Plato's will love that. Like she kind of knew what her Plato's Closet would take. And it's just a skill that she's really developed, and she's gotten really good at it. And she'll just go, like she'll say, okay, this was, and she checks out separately. So she knows exactly what her Plato's pile is.
Yeah.
Say $15, and then she'll bring it in and she'll leave with, sometimes 30, sometimes 50, but whatever it is, it usually pays for her entire bin strip.
Which is great because then the rest of it's profit.
Exactly.
Pure profit.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of profits, perfect transition.
Yes.
So you're going to share for the month of.
So I have my book.
It's for the month of June or for the month of July so far?
So this is in total since I started dropping things off to them late February, early March. I don't think about anything to her until March. I swear it was like the last week of February and then the first 2 weeks in March, and then the store closed. Yeah. And I was like, I had the worst timing ever. And that was also when I sent my stuff into the Real Real. So I'm like, well, who's going to buy, high-end stuff right as the whole nation was shutting down. But anyways, so she told me, I called her today, 49 of the items that I brought her sold. Okay. She said 25 have expired, so come pick them up or I'm going to donate them. She's like, but I'll hold on to them for you. And my total payout is $175.52. So on 49 items, that means my average payout per item was $3.57.
But the only work you did was bringing it to
her. Yeah.
To her.
And I mean, honestly, a lot of those things were just stuff that I just would never sell on Poshmark unless I did it in like my LBF bundle boxes. But even my bundle boxes, I think were like a little bit, items that I wanted to sell somehow on my own. So I was really happy with that, because I would say that of those, say 75 items, if 49 sold and she has 25, I would say like 40 of them were getting donated to Goodwill if I didn't bring them. So I kind of look at consignment that way. It's like a little bit of a last resort. I don't think that I'm currently sourcing intentionally for the Real Real, there are certain brands that I know will sell on the Real Real, but oftentimes I'll try to sell them myself.
Yeah.
And then if they don't sell for me, then I will bring to the Real Real.
Same.
To the Real Real.
Mm-hmm. If I've got something listed for too long and it's not moving, I've tried other platforms. If it's not like a Target brand or sometimes a mall brand, which I don't normally pick up, on the off chance, that's usually what I send out to like the ThredUps, the consignment stores, because I don't care if I make a couple bucks on it or no money, but I just don't want to go donate it. Let me try to make a couple pennies.
Right. Why not?
Right.
And you might be surprised. I think that's what I've seen with some of the ThredUp payouts. I'm surprised by the brands that actually do pretty well. And that seems like it's really worth my energy to research that a little bit more.
Well, okay, great transition into ThredUp, because I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with them, but that's okay. I love that they really will take a lot, but I hate that there's no, at least to me, there's no science behind it. I just sent, so we talked about this right before we logged on. I recently sent them a Lux box, which provides a faster processing time. And it was actually very fast. They did it in 2 days. They got it, processed it in 2 days. Wow.
That's impressive. When did you send it?
Last week. So like, it was a really quick process. I account that or attribute it to living in Los Angeles. I think if you're at the epicenter of a shipping center, they can put it on the plane, the truck going to whatever state that day.
That makes sense.
You know, but I threw in a couple, obviously Lux items, but something I was trying to move for $25 on Poshmark, they have price. It's Maison Margiela, which is luxury. They priced it for $274 or something.
Wow.
And I mean, they're very expensive shoes, but I was like, I couldn't give these away. If I can get that, okay.
And what is their payout on their Lux? Because the Real Real, the level that I'm at, is only 40%. And I feel like ThredUp's is higher. Is it higher?
Kind of, I think, like, it's not like exactly clear cut with ThredUp, at least in my opinion, or I just haven't tried enough to look at it because it's just so small percent of my business. But it's random. Like on the $275 pair of shoes, I think I'll like if it does sell at that and doesn't get returned, I could make over $100 with that sale. But if something like there was some lower price items, what was something that was lower? There was, I can't remember it, but it was priced for like $50. Oh, it was a Revolve brand Privacy Please dress.
Oh yeah.
Brand new tags, listed for $50, but the payout's only $15.
I think the way that ThredUp does it, if I remember, is if it's a certain dollar value, you hit a threshold. So if it's over, if it's $100 or less, your payout is this percentage. If it's $250, if it's $100 to $250, there's tiers, and like the higher you go, like if it's over $500, say you get 80%. So I'm making those numbers up, but I think as the price increases, your profitability increases. Where on the Real Real, you're at 40%, I believe, until you hit $1,500 in sales. And then once you hit that, it goes up, I think.
It does, except it has to be priced over. Even if you hit those tiers, like say you make $50,000 a year on the Real Real. People do, especially in LA. That's like one Birkin bag. Even though you might be at that 70% threshold, if you suddenly have an item that sells under $100, it still falls into the 40% category. So your item needs to have enough value for you to like get the full benefit.
Okay. Over. I do think it's one of those things that people who are good at it stand to make an incredible amount of money.
100%.
They know how to play the game and they know the system. And I feel like I've just really put my energy into Poshmark, and I feel like that's the platform I know the best. And I feel like everything else is a little bit of an afterthought in a sense, you know? Yeah.
And Real Real, it speaks to a specific audience. It's luxury. They don't, it's not, a lot of people do not have access to those brands unless it's from your own closet. But here in LA, we kind of have access to that all the time. So there's always something, whether it's one or a couple items, I can always send something out, which is nice.
Yeah, I would agree. And I also think that one of the nice things about the Real Real is that you get like an assistant. You have a contact person who you can, I was like taking screenshots of items I wanted to send, and they would say, because like if it's not on their luxury list or their design list, and my rep would say, oh yeah, send that, or no, we're going to pass on that for now. So it's really nice. It kind of saves you the time. If it's not on the designer list, you have a person. In fact, I just signed up for a new, like a label, and they already called to talk directly, so they put somebody on it right away.
I don't love that.
No?
No,
How
because
come?
sometimes it's so aggressive. Like I thought about a label, I thought about consigning, and I get an email or a phone call, and it's like,
I didn't
"Hi,
answer the phone
I,
call.
I just want to let you know that like we're having a listing special. Like send in 1,000 items, and we'll give you like $200 off your $5 million purchase." And I'm like,
They
okay,
are aggressive. They are salespeople. I got a notification from the woman who I worked with the like 11 or 12 items that I sent in March. And
yeah.
she's like, I only work with new consigners. Do you have any questions? You are going to be handed off to so-and-so for your next round. But there's still time if you want to send like one more batch in with me. And I just wasn't ready to send her anything. But I guess there's pros and cons. I mean, but you have the ability to not answer the phone. So I saw the Real Real come up, and I was like, I'm not going to talk to them right now because I don't really. I mean, I have been collecting stuff in a box, but I wasn't ready to have a conversation. I was like driving to get a coffee. I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk to you right now.
I will say, by the way, Leslie's here. We have
I saw
Hugo.
Ship Quick and
Yes,
Vero
Hugo. Wait, where
and
is that?
Set.
I'm catching up. Hi everyone. Lori and I
Hola,
can
hola.
talk forever. So
Yes, just interrupt us.
where's
So nice to see everyone.
Leslie? Hey everyone. Something that is not available everywhere, but here in LA, you can have someone come to your home or wherever and like do a closet evaluation, we'll call it. And they can like they'll shop your closet and be like, yes, we'll take this, yes, we'll take that. Sometimes you do get stuff sent back when that happens, but I used to be a personal assistant a couple years ago, and I witnessed this in-person experience, and my boss was affluent.
Mhm.
So basically what we did is we set up the dining room to be a showroom. So we got out the racks, we put all her clothes and shoes and bags and everything, and they just bring in big, like bigger than IKEA sized totes.
Wow.
And they just, okay, we'll take this. This is great. But they're also not phased. Like anyone walking into that home would be like, wow. But like,
it's just like, another day at the office.
It is fashion that people don't even know about, like the level of brands. And that is very cool. I love that.
Really cool. That must have been really fun to see up close and personal.
Yes, it is. I mean, because we like, especially being a personal assistant in that world, like by nature, it is just a wealthy experience.
Mm-hmm. You just around it a lot.
Yeah, and you become more aware of brands, which
Good training for your
definitely.
Current job, Blake.
What?
Good training for your current job.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I also got my job from that boss, so
perfect.
Networking.
Great.
Wait, some people are talking about the Real Real. Tugo says we haven't tried the Real Real, but we keep getting YouTube ads for it. Listen, if you get some like expensive items, high quality luxury items, make sure it's on their designer list.
Yes.
Send it out. They'll send it back to you if they don't get it chosen.
They will. So when I sent them items, I think I sent, 12 to 14 items. And one of the things that I sent to them was a Christian Dior vintage suit that I picked up at Goodwill in Worcester. And they took the jacket, and the skirt clearly matched it, but the tag was not on the skirt. So they divided the set. They sent me back the skirt, and they listed the blazer. I was kind of annoyed by that because like I can see if they were listing them separately, but if they listed them together and someone's like, you can fight that, call them back. And I don't have.
Like, is it worth it?
I'm like, no, it's all right. Just sell the blazer.
Yeah. So I guess a question for the audience. Do you guys have specific questions regarding the Real Real and ThredUp in their processing process, and how maybe you go about that? Do you guys know how to, on ThredUp, request a luxury label? I'm curious.
Yeah. So I looked at the ThredUp today, and their kits are unavailable. They have pressed the pause button because it is. Like, that's why I was curious when you sent yours in. And I was
Yeah.
also curious if they're taking luxe bags, but not clear outs. And I didn't see a differentiation on their website because I was like, well, I could definitely send a few luxe pieces
Yeah.
in with my clear out bag, but I don't know if it's like a separate tab, but the clear out is closed right now.
So my Lux label, what I do is I request them just whenever. I don't necessarily have anything, but I get them because it takes so long to get here because they have to mail it out.
Right.
Biggest waste of time, biggest waste of resources. But I actually requested it back in March and I got it in March and I had sat on it. I was like, let me accumulate some things while we're stuck at home and like I'll just make one big trip. And the potential payout makes that worth it. But
so you can use those older labels because I did the same thing, Blake. I think I did it unintentionally. Like I signed up and I thought I was going to get an email or something, just being a newbie.
Yeah.
And then I signed up again. So I got a second label and I never sent out the second one. It's in a notebook somewhere, like tucked away.
Yeah.
So I pull that out because they are closed right now. So I was bummed out because I was like, in preparation for this video, even for this live, I was just kind of gearing up with all my consignment stuff.
Wait, hold on. Lux program discontinued.
Look it up.
Okay, someone needs to do a little Google research for me. Yeah, I would like to know that because literally my bag finished processing today. My box. By the way, I have never, ever received a bag like the poly mailer, the giant I've never received that. They just send me an electronic label. There's never been an option to get a physical kit.
I have the kit because I think I ordered like the basic one. I was just pressing buttons and ordering everything because I didn't know when I first started. So is it discontinued or is that just on hold like the bags? That it just said the processing to catch up with the processing time and blah blah blah. We have like halted it for now. They announced the Lux program discontinued over a month ago, Leslie says.
Oh yeah, wait. So it says from their website, as we work towards processing our so attention everyone, listen up. It's literally in their FAQs called "What Happened to the Lux Program." As we work towards processing our broad supplier bags, we have paused the Lux program and are taking this time to reevaluate its benefits. As this program is being reviewed, we will no longer be offering free return assurance or expedited processing unless opting into these services for an additional fee. Okay, so I think, oh wait, there's more. We highly recommend adding return assurance, blah, blah, blah. We do still accept brands from Gap to Gucci and everything in between. I think this came up because they just have so much coming in that I know they recently bought another warehouse, but I think they need another one. Like there's just so much inventory.
And I cannot imagine their processing system.
Like they're definitely hiring. I know if you're in Arizona and you need a job, they're definitely hiring.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if they're just going to reemerge with a whole new plan to try to figure out. Have I also heard like on social media that ThredUp is going into stores? Are they having like pop-up stores?
I think they partnered. They announced they partnered with, it was either JCPenney or Macy's or something. And you could, am I crazy? People in the comments?
Yeah, I know. It's like I hear these things or I read them in someone's story and they like go through my brain and then I can't remember.
Yeah. Oh, it was with Walmart. They partnered with Walmart. Okay. Interesting.
They're in some Macy's locations.
Oh.
Emma Jean on Poshmark tells us.
They're just pushing it. They're pushing it everywhere. Listen, I know there was a point, I think it was going into quarantine where these partnerships were being announced. And I was like, is this going to affect my business? Or do I not have to deal with mailing in a label? I can just bring everything or mailing in a package. Just bring it to them. Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know.
Oh, here's a ThredUp question from Vero. When they're having sales, so as a buyer, which they always do you get the payout based on the sale price or the regular price, or can you opt in out of a sale?
It's my understanding that you get paid out based on the sale price and you don't have That's like out of your hands. Correct
Yeah.
me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a ThredUp.
No, you are correct. It's
I think.
basically the only reason it is, and this applies to the Real Real, and just like sales in general, if you have one price, like of $100, right? And if it's being advertised at $80, you, of course, will not get paid out on $100. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because the company would lose
If
money.
it's not for 80, you'll get paid out on that.
Correct. Right.
Exactly.
But oftentimes the only reason it is on sale is because it's been sitting too long, or they're on the back end, they're seeing that it's getting a lot of traction, but no one's buying, so they'll drop the price down. So that'll happen on the Real Real all the time.
Yeah, a lot of my items that have sold, it said like the percentage sale that they sold at. They do drop the price. And also on ThredUp, it's my understanding that you can go in and adjust the price. So they usually price it pretty low, but you can go into your account and like click on each individual listing and bump it up to the highest amount. So that if and when they do put it on sale, you're not losing a ton, because they'll just price it low just to move it faster.
So my bag finished being processed today.
Mm-hmm.
I had almost 20 items get accepted, 5 of which were editable. Luckily, the very expensive ones, yes. But I was like, this is too much. I want to lower it. Whatever. But it wouldn't let me adjust on the others. I think it was maybe a little too late for the bidding process to start.
Oh, interesting. So you don't have the option to adjust the price on everything, or is there a window?
There's definitely a window. I think it's 12 hours.
Oh, wow. That's fast. Okay.
You have to, like, once that bag is processed, you have to like be aware to change the prices.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think, what was I going to say? I think if it's not past a certain threshold of price, like if it's $10, it wouldn't be $10, but if it's like $20, I don't think you get to edit it.
Okay.
At least in my experience.
Lower end stuff you don't touch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh, wait, here we go. Dresden. Once bidding starts, you have to wait till the bidding ends to change prices. Gotcha. Here we go. Do they notify you when the bag is processed and you can edit the price? They notify you when the bag is processed. Mm-hmm. Yes. I don't wait for all the notifications because sometimes I find they're delayed just systematically. Mm-hmm. So sometimes what's on the phone is different than the desktop too. So that could have been the reason I didn't get the edit.
Mm-hmm. On some of them, maybe.
Yeah. Canary Closet, def change your prices. I just check my ThredUp a few times a day. Yeah.
I think it has to become part of like what you do, to just get into that rhythm of checking the prices and
depending on how often you are doing a ThredUp situation, like for me, I won't have another one of these for probably months. I don't send in to them quite often.
Right. I would just personally rather sell most of the stuff myself. I mean, when I'm uninspired by a piece, or I come into a piece, like I said, through a donation, or maybe I'm at the bins and I grab something. I was at a thrift store just a couple weeks ago and they had a dollar section at the back of the store. So, I picked up like a Lafayette 148 black skirt for $1 that I would probably struggle selling on Poshmark, but I know I can send that. The Real Real did take 2 Lafayette 148 pieces from me, but they haven't sold. And I believe that right now it's not on their designer list. So you always have to keep checking their designer list because that changes as well.
Yes. So actually, fun fact, I had a piece of clothing that was very expensive from Lafayette 148. It was in near perfect condition. I had it for over a year. It was not moving on any platform. I sent it into the Real Real, not on the designer list. And I was like, the worst they say is no. When they
roll the dice, just send it. Yeah.
They accepted it and it sold, not for a lot of money, unfortunately.
Right.
But I did get to move it. And I know Jack from Jack and Ryan, mm-hmm. They will sometimes encourage people, like if it make sure it's a good piece that you're sending, if it's not on the designer list. but you can get away with sending stuff that's not on there because it's unique or it's like excellent quality. And in my case, it was a beautiful lamb leather jacket in pink, and it was barely used. So
Wow.
happy about that.
That's great. Yes. I do. I think it's interesting, that you can kind of roll the dice and see if they'll accept it.
Yeah.
And just see, you might get lucky.
Yes.
Vero.
They in my Luxe ThredUp, they accepted 2 pairs of leggings that were like new. So we'll see. And they're priced at $50, so we'll see.
That's good. So of the things that I got has anyone taken? No, I keep hearing about this.
I have no comment on this.
Is that her name or whoever's offering it?
Yeah, I know that it's like passed around, and if you, I don't know, I'm not trying to knock anyone's hustle. If you want to invest in yourself in that way, by all means. But if you want, I'm sure you could do a lot of YouTubing, a lot of Googling, and get similar, not exact, but similar processes.
Yeah, I think it would be some really quick information, like what brands work or what strategies work. And I feel like I myself just haven't dug in. There's a part of me that's like, maybe I should take that course and just like check that box and understand it better. But I'm also being a little bit lazy because, like you said, I feel like there's so much information out there. I have friends who work really well with ThredUp that I could ask questions. And, it's one of those things. I just haven't made it a priority yet.
Yeah. I think it also depends, and this goes for reselling in general, or working in general. It depends on your the drive behind your why. So if you've got to make money, you've got to do XYZ. I don't know that investing or thinking about ThredUp, although can be lucrative for some people, especially this person that has that course. I think she makes full-time money with that.
Yeah.
I think there are ways that you can work for yourself right now that don't cost you an investment, like a course, etc. So,
my philosophy with selling in general, and I only speak for myself, but I am just kind of a move forward kind of a person. In some cases, I have gotten into the habit of relisting things, and I had some success with that this week where I had a pair of Lululemon leggings that have been sitting forever.
Yeah.
Activity, but nothing. And I relisted them for $1 more. I listed them from $49 to $50, and they sold within an hour. And I was like, wow, I guess it does work occasionally when you do that. Did you had a similar situation?
Okay, so actually, I am going to look up the person because I want to give them credit, because that's where this is not necessarily an original idea, but it's where I got the idea from. Someone told me, when pricing your items in that area or in the dollar amount where, on Poshmark specifically, you can filter by price. Yes. Poshmark does 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 100, and so on. If you price,
Mogi Beth did a video and touched on it. I know Mogi did.
So did her name is Teach to Thrift, Sarah.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Her Instagram, she's super fun, super cute. But she was the one whose post I saw and was like, this dog barking needs to chill. It's across the street and I can't. Sorry everyone. Oh my God, you guys, I'm filming. Lori is stop.
Knock it off. Yes, when you price it at 50, you hit two
search categories.
Exactly. So I've been adjusting some of my prices for that reason, just so that I can, because I send offers on a lot of my stuff anyways. Is there sound from the other side now?
Yeah, it's
dogs on both ends.
My actual neighbors, and then across the street. I can't. Hold on. There's a question for you about brick and mortar consignment.
Question for your brick and mortar. How do you keep track of what you bring, what they accept?
Great question.
Period.
Great question.
I feel like I'm all over the place with that only because I brought it in at such a strange time. I think it gets dropped every 2 weeks in price. She'll tell you when they drop the prices. I had no idea I had 25 that had expired. I think it's a 3-month period that they'll keep it in their store. And mark it down, and then it goes. Would that make sense? Because it's July, March, April, May, June, July. It's 4 months. See, they give you all that information, Angela, but I don't know for certain what her policy is because of the COVID shutdown. The store was closed for 2 months.
Who's responsible for cataloging the items? Like if you brought 100 items,
Yes.
do they say, here is what's like this Lululemon Lululemon leggings sold?
They can give you a printout when you go in. I know different stores are different, but when I first brought the stuff and they process it, they give me a printout of what they accepted. Like they'll say, you know, Gap dress and what they're going to price it at. I don't know if they kind of broke it down, you know, after 2 weeks, it's going to go to this price and this price. I think it's a percentage that it gets dropped. Gotcha. And then if it doesn't sell by the end, my understanding when I spoke with her today, and this is just her policy, every private consignment store runs things differently, but she basically said like the consignment time is over. I can either come in and pick it up, or she has like a rack in the back that she sells things for $1. And I don't think I'd get any of that. I think after the 3 months, you have the option to go in and pick up your stuff, or it's at that point her property and she can do with it what she wants, and I'm not going to see any money from it. Yeah. So I don't know what would have happened had I not called today, just by chance. And she said, "Oh, when are you going to be in? I'll hold on to the stuff for you if you come in next week." It's kind of a small town consignment store, but she's been in business for like 30 years. So I don't know. And the other place that I use with the children's, it took them like 3 months to process it. And somebody told me that they had consigned with this place before, and they send it from their store in Leominster to like a warehouse in Worcester, and then they go through it, they accept or deny, and then they send it back. It's like many channels. And I haven't really loved that. Like I haven't even been in to check to see what my balance was there. Like that is my real last resort consignment store. That's like, if I never see this again, I'm good with it.
Okay, attention everyone. Quick second. Give this video a thumbs up right now, please. Pretty please.
I'm going to give it I already gave it a thumbs up before.
Give it a thumbs up. And I'm going to bring attention to something that could be very lucrative with us. So are you paying attention, people? Okay, here we go. Someone asked / is telling us about a place called Revelry. Or Revelry. It's apparently, I have it up on my website, on the website. It's apparently a women's consignment. It's a cute website. I would recommend you all give it a try. To answer the question, I have not. I didn't know what that was.
Never heard of it.
That'll be interesting. Emma Jean on Poshmark. Have you? I'm curious. Because it's an online consignment situation. How it works is they accept men's, women's, shoes, bags, accessories. They all must be within moderate, light, or excellent, or new at tags. So nothing like normal standard consignment stuff. Yeah. You can pick to mail in or schedule a free home pickup based on your location. Okay, so the standard stuff, the commission, that's what we want. Items under $200 will sell for, you will get, 50% commission of items that are priced between or sell for $146 to $199, 40% below that. Okay. And then this is the Real structure.
It sounds like Real Real. Mm-hmm.
You'll get 70% if all items once net sale reaches 10,000. Yeah, it's a very similar structure to the Real Real. So give it a whirl. Listen,
I feel like we're going to start seeing a lot of these companies pop up. I mean, even Mercari has been really buzzing lately. I know that's not online consignment. It's more like a Poshmark platform, but I just think that the industry as a whole is just growing so rapidly that, you know, it is just a prime playing field for these places to pop up. And
I mean,
some of these places like ThredUp.
We are essentially mobile consignment stores, except like all in reverse, if that makes sense. Like we are doing the same thing, just in a different format.
Yes.
Instead of being brought doing the work ourselves, we're going to get it
Exactly.
and selling it. So same thing, kind of. Oh, Nick's here. Hi, Nick.
Oh,
Hello, Nick.
Nick.
NCI Resale on Instagram.
Nick, I've been like binging your stuff lately. You're so good.
Well, because he has stuff to binge. Yay, Nick, for keeping up with the YouTube content. Mm-mm. Snaps
I
for
love
you,
when
Nick.
the bags fly away from the front porch. Cute.
Let's see. Nick. Oh, yeah, Nick. So someone just brought this up. Oops, hold on. There's a women's consignment called Reverie.
He is fancy.
Revury. Have you heard of that? Attention, Nick, if you're listening. And if you're watching on the TV and don't have access to a keyboard because the TV app doesn't let you chat, let us know. So we'll come back to that.
We'll come back and see.
Vero has someone consigning her Lily pieces with her. Good for you. I would, if you're doing consignment with a friend, which I have done and I have a couple YouTube videos of, just make sure it's items that are worth your time, because
no, he has not. Thank you.
Thank you for responding. If you have the time, like when I first went into quarantine, consignment is what I had accessible, and luckily it was really good stuff. That profit would have warranted, going 60-40, 50-50, whatever we worked out. But sometimes, like if you're just selling a shirt for $20, you have to make sure it's worth your time. Like, what percentage are you okay with? What percentage is the other person okay with? And also, reminder, consignment is always a percentage of what it will sell for. Mm-hmm. So if you say, oh, I think I could get around 100, but over time and it doesn't sell, one day it does for $40, now you have to take 20%, whatever percent fee, and then split that. So it's like, is it worth it? Make sure it's worth it for you.
When I've talked to my friends about consigning, because I've had a lot of people ask, like, oh, I should just drop my stuff off to you. I'm like, please don't. Like I always say, and I said the same thing to them, it's not really worth your time. If you have a Burberry bag or you have Gucci shoes or like 1 to 3, 4 items that are going to sell for over $100, like it's not even like, you'll be better off just listing it yourself on Poshmark. It takes 5 minutes to start an account. Yeah. And if you have an item that's in high demand, it will sell if you price it right.
I have a friend, I'm also her cat sitter, like her home sitter. She had a beautiful Marni necklace that was basically brand new. And I was like, you can keep like 100% of this money. I will do everything for you. I don't want to be paid for this. Like, take all the money. And she's like, do I have to photograph? Do I have to do this? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, I don't want to. No. So, I mean, there are people that just don't want to do it.
I think it's funny about our industry in general, because like I'll come across, I don't know, like Carhartt I'd pick up, but like certain like manly, big, bulky things or electronics or whatever. And I know they'll send for a lot, but sell for a lot, but I have no interest.
Yeah. Nick says, I say this all the time too. If you're going to consign for other people, don't undervalue your time and be organized from the beginning. Yes, go in knowing what you want, what percentage you want, make it clear it's after fees on the XYZ platform. And,
you're usually consigning with friends, but it is business.
Yeah. So I like to get professional because I don't want any discrepancy about money to ruin a friendship, because that happens. No. A cute little Excel just saying, I've accepted 5 things, J. Crew vest, that. This is what I'm planning on making. This is the potential payout. I would much rather that than I gave this to you. Did it sell? And then you're like, oh, it did. I didn't pay them. You don't want the awkwardness. So
no, you definitely make the arrangements up front.
From the jump, as they say.
For sure.
Let's see. I'm not interested in consignment. I say, let me teach you how to sell. Yeah. Yep. So, but in some cases, people don't care.
People are interested sometimes. They're just like, take it,
Yeah. Also, Leslie, I just noticed you have a different color logo. It's not green anymore.
Yes. She's always
changing it up. Cardiff says, I don't do consignment with friends. Instead, I try to encourage everyone to start a Poshmark account. Let them, they can donate to me. Okay, so you'll take the goods if they really just want to get rid of it.
Yep. Or even if you just pay a little bit up front and say that's like an easier way to do it.
Yeah.
My girlfriend who donated stuff to me, I've actually felt guilty because some of her stuff has just been flying. And she's like, honestly, I don't want any money. This is not my thing. Whatever I didn't take, I brought to Goodwill for her. So she's like, that in and of itself is great that I don't have to make a trip to Goodwill. Yeah. So I told her I was going to get her a mani-pedi next time I saw her because her stuff's been selling.
That's sweet. That's sweet.
Yeah.
Or just like a coffee or like, yeah. I've done the buyout thing. I'm like, listen, here's what I think I will get for it. And this, I always preface, this is not a personal thing. This is just what I'm seeing in the market. And the market says, I can make maybe this after fees. So I need to charge XYZ. And sometimes, like 50% of the time, they'll be like, nah, never mind. I'll keep it.
Yes. And then sometimes they'll be like, take it. One of the things that I do is I will scroll, like I'll take a screenshot or like share my screen and record sold comps on the item that they think will sell for huge money. And I'm like, well, this is what it's selling for. So, you know, just like and then they can go in with their eyes open and just know what the value is, you know?
Yeah. Someone asked a great question about the Real Real. Grace, does it make sense to consign with the Real Real with lower end items, for instance, Nike, Adidas? It depends on if they accept it. I know they do have Nike and Adidas, but it can't be in too rough a shape. So
I also think it depends on what you're paying for it.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if you're finding Nike and Adidas at the bins and it's something that they'll take and you pay $1 and your payout and they sell it for $30 and your payout is $12, you know, you're still making a huge profit, but I wouldn't pay up for those brands and then send them to the Real Real.
Yeah.
Like they take North Face and I don't sell North Face really well in my Poshmark closet, but they do take certain North Face pieces that I've sold. And actually one of my North Face pieces that I did send to the Real Real did sell. And I was surprised that they even accepted that brand. And I find a ton of it at the bins.
Yeah. I would probably, knowing that you can only get 40%, if it sells, which it could also go on sale on the Real Real, like I would maybe entertain, and like Canary Closet says, maybe try ThredUp for those items. Maybe if you can.
You can make your own high price.
Yeah, you can make your own price. I know they're looking to have a more elevated experience on that website because I know it doesn't necessarily from when you initially look at it compared to the Real Real.
Oh, on ThredUp, you're saying?
Yeah, like I feel like the ThredUp comparatively is, you know, like lower end.
For sure.
Although they sell less items, I think there is something about, you know, the Real Real is established and I mean, they sell Birkins, so.
Right. And again, like you can always call for a label and then just speak to a representative and say, you know, what do you think? Or go on the Real Real and look at what the pieces that you're thinking about sending are selling for. And I think that's going to give you, like I bought a pair of pants, the Great, and I did a thrift with me and passed on them because I didn't know the brand.
Oh my God.
My comments were blowing up on YouTube. Like people were texting me like, go back for those pants. I was like, oh my gosh. And I was even in my thrift with me saying, these look like a good brand. Like I'm not familiar with this brand, but so then everyone's like, you can send it to the Real Real. They're worth so much money. And so I went back and got them. They were like $5. So I was excited to go back and get them. But then when I looked on the Real Real was pricing them at $50. A lot of them, this style. And I'm like, you know, I mean, my payout's going to be $20, you know? So, I mean, and I paid $5, so it would be a $15 profit with the Real Real. So I'm like, I think I'm going to list them on my own to see first.
For real. That's a good idea. Yeah. Something else with the Great, it just reminded me of denim. I always reference this brand because I personally really love the brand and they're expensive, upscale, and it is Current Elliott. However, that does not sell well at all for me.
No, I struggle with it too.
I can't even give it away. And I just don't understand how a $300 pair of jeans can barely be given away. I just don't get it.
Is Nick still here? Because I, at this same store, bought a pair of suede Current Elliott pants. And the retail price on them was $965. And I paid like $11 or $12 for them.
Yeah.
And I still am like, should I see Nick loves the great.
Yeah. I'm like I'm like two separations away from like the great owners. It's also very funny to like talk fashion with like smaller regional brands, knowing like, oh, they're down the street. Like I know them, or like, you know.
Right. Well, so many brands. Yeah, you are just like in a mecca there.
Yeah.
And then any friends in New York City have some fun stuff to choose from as well. But yeah, so I picked up the suede Current Elliott pants, knowing full well like this could really be a mistake, but I believed in them. So we'll see. Some of the comps were really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give them a try.
Good. Glad to see I'm not the only person that struggles with Current Elliott. I'm trying Current Elliott to thread up. I'll see how it does. Yep, keep us posted.
Good idea.
When you say huge, what does that mean? 50 plus items? Also, isn't there a weight limit with ThredUp? It's 30 pounds. And when you say huge, what do you mean huge?
Did I say huge?
I don't recall. What? Clarify, Grace, please.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I did have a question. Hold on. From Vero that she submitted on YouTube earlier. What are the top 5 brands and/or styles that sell better on ThredUp than on Poshmark? I don't think there is a perfect.
Fine, I heard, does better on ThredUp than Poshmark.
Yeah, I think it's. I want to be like kind with the words. I don't want to like be offensive. Brands, I don't like brands that are inherently like more popular, like Calvin Klein. Like Calvin Klein's everywhere: t-shirts, jeans, underwear. Michael Kors, even.
Yep.
Like very
mainstream.
Yeah, saturated brands do well on ThredUp compared to Poshmark.
Names.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my gosh, there's so many good questions. Wow. Does anyone else struggle with blank NYC? I have the same issue. It sits forever. I don't. I've got some items.
Moto jackets sell well for me.
Yeah, I sold a vegan leather one.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing to sell from them. Sometimes the jeans sit for a while though for blank NYC.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, those are good quality jeans. So if they sit, they sit.
Okay, Nick says mature design, St. John's, Escada, Armani. Are you talking about for ThredUp, Nick? I think he is.
Yeah, I think I sent in my St. John on like my last ThredUp.
So I wonder, when people choose to send a St. John's piece to ThredUp versus the Real Real.
Yes, because in my opinion, it's not designer enough for the Real Real, but it's designer like forward for ThredUp.
For ThredUp. And it's like one of those mature brands. Yes, I agree. Dresden Avenue, Chico's, and Taylor. I think those are brands that do pretty decent and that we pass on a lot, or at least I do, in like a normal thrift store. Maybe I'll pick things up like that at the bins.
Yeah. Funny question. Someone sharing my entire closet on Poshmark multiple times. Probably. Most likely, yes.
Yeah.
It sometimes it does get annoying, especially when
the notifications. When I'm trying to do a listing and like the notifications keep coming up.
Well, I don't know anyone who has. Well, no, that's a lie. I don't like notifications on my phone in general. I don't have, other than text messages and calls, I don't have any notifications. I choose
notifications from Poshmark.
No, I choose to go in. Well, oh no, that's a lie. I get someone made an offer and a sale.
Okay.
And comments.
I don't get turn off shares.
Yeah, that's nuts. God. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Wait, there was some really good questions. Marty White, I found a pair of Burberry sandals today. How do they do on Posh? I'm going to tell you, check your comps. That's where you're going to find your answers. Check to find that exact style. Check sandals in general. Look at recent solds by color, by size.
Yeah. My very first sale on Poshmark was a pair of Burberry sandals. They were like the Dr. Scholl's like wooden clog style.
Oh, yeah.
White. They sold for like, I don't know, $35, I think.
Jack just got paid out $20 for St. John jacket on the Real Real, I think. Probably not. That's probably not a ton of money, but
Yeah, you would kind of want a little bit. So my average payout on the Real Real for my 5 items that sold was $22.80. 5 of my items sold for $114. They sent me a check for $90 last month, and I have 14, and I still have 9 items available. So not
wow.
huge money, but like the brand, they weren't great pieces. I was generally happy with the stuff, with the prices.
Good. Hold on. Question. Okay, asking this again. Anyone know if you can change your address after getting a ThredUp label, i.e., already have a label but need my return sent? That is a complicated process, so I imagine that's going to be a customer support situation.
Call. Is there a number to even call?
No, just an email.
Yeah.
I would say just request a new label. I know that that's going to be the easier solution on us, honestly.
Or maybe she's curious because they stopped giving labels right now. Since she has an older one, would she be able to get a new one since they've closed? And that's a tough one, Vero.
I used labels don't go bad. Like, to my knowledge, I'm sure there's a time frame on a label that gets generated but doesn't get used. And I think it's a decent amount of time because, like I said earlier, I got a label in March and I just sent it out last week. So, and it was fine. But I'm noting the time. We're almost we're at an hour. We're going to wind down the conversation. So feel free to get your last minute questions in. Lori, I'm going to take this time to remind everyone that this is Lori Tata from Lori's Boston Found on Instagram. You can find her YouTube channel and Instagram down in the link in the description. She also does have a website. It's
Lori'sBostonFound.com.
So simple. We love continuity.
My name was actually just Lori Tata because I started that before I was Lori's Boston Found. Yeah.
So. I will also take this moment to say, if you haven't been here the past couple of weeks, last week I had Denali El Dujo Thrift talking about sourcing for and scaling for your reselling business. And my first 2 videos were about Poshmark and Mercari. Okay. And here's a little tease for next week, the final Wednesday for my July What Wednesdays. I am going to actually not reveal who will be a part of the birthday live stream. But what I will say is tune into my Instagram, link in the description, for a Monday evening announcement showcasing the fresh faces that you will find joining me for that fun celebration.
Hey,
and just to be... What?
Your birthday.
It's my birthday celebration. Technically, my birthday is on Sunday, August 2nd. But, with the What Wednesday pattern, I want to keep it consistent.
Gotcha. That'll be fun, Blake.
Yeah. I will ask the people out there watching, if you were to want the What Wednesdays to continue, maybe it becomes something different in the month of August. Still on Wednesdays, same time, everything. What would you be interested in? What would you want to know? I'm curious because maybe I'm going to keep it going. Who knows? More guests?
I know.
Who knows?
Nick, I want you to come live on my channel. Putting it out there. I've been meaning to email you.
Yeah.
I demand. So Blake was my first live on my YouTube.
I sure was.
You were. It was awesome.
I felt honored. And for those who are watching, Lori and I could talk for days. Days, okay? 2-hour What Wednesday about anything.
You want to hear something sad, totally unrelated to consignment? We just celebrated our 25th anniversary on June 25th, and we had a trip to California all booked for San Francisco and Napa late October, and we just canceled our flights today. It was like the saddest thing. Like because we can get a voucher in a full amount if we canceled before July 30th. Right. It's happening, and I'm so sad. I wanted to visit all my California friends and go shopping.
Well, it's not like that's going on anyway. So.
It was my 26th anniversary.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, before we depart for today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. there's only 53 thumbs up and there's 85 people watching. So, you know, Lori and I are not leaving until that's at least up to 75.
Sing us out, Blake. Sing to the light.
ThredUp, the Real Real and ThredUp. All my windows are open and my neighbors can hear me. Oh my God. Oh my God. The neighbors on this side, the neighbors on that side, dogs, people. Also, where's my UPS package?
Well, that's right. What are you expecting?
Yeah, I ordered something off of Mercari and it still has not. I want it. I need it to be delivered.
Yes. Mail is fun.
Oh my gosh.
Nick, Canary Closet. Yes, please, for me.
What? I
asked Nick if he would be live on my show.
Oh my God. Nick, I am not. You can check out my OnlyFans for my toes. I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Although, honestly, I've thought about it.
So. What's
that? Thank you, Canary Closet. That's so sweet of you.
Aww.
That's so sweet of you. I guess I have to sing again because we're only at 66 likes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna sing till you hit the thumbs up. Oh. I'm gonna sing till you hit the thumbs up. More neighbors going down the stairs. More neighbors going down the stairs. More neighbors going down the stairs.
Up, everybody. I can only do this for someone else's channel. I would never do this.
Sometimes I think I'm like, am I crazy? Maybe.
You've been alone too long.
But like good crazy, you know? Good crazy. All right, give me the 70. We're at 69 likes. 70 likes.
70. I wish I could I can yell to my kids to sign on and they'll do it. I'll get them to do it.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you guys in the chat because I say that every single video that I put out, I learned from people. I learned from people. I had to go back and get those pants. I learned from people that Jack Rogers writes the number on the inside of their leather of their shoes. That's what they do. I'm in a hall and I'm like, somebody wrote 8 medium in here. I wonder if these were a sample or everyone's like, Jack Rogers has been doing that since the beginning of time. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So like I learned so much from you guys and I love it. I feel very lucky.
Yeah.
I am not a ThredUp expert, nor am I a Real expert.
Listen, ultimately the end goal, the final nugget of wisdom is if you're going to try or start with these consignment places, try with stuff that's stale in your closet, in your inventory, just to get an idea of what these companies will take. Mm-hmm. Put a variety of items in there too to see what might sell well, if at all. And a lot of these programs...
patterns.
Yeah, and a lot of these programs, particularly ThredUp, if it's just a regular ThredUp situation and they don't accept it, they'll donate it or put it in a rescue box. But in theory, you know, it's all being recycled in some capacity. So I like that aspect.
Two tips that I have for if you pull something from your inventory, say on Poshmark, and you've gone through the, you know, photographing process and listing it, you can just mark it not for sale and like not share it while it goes out to the Real. And if they don't accept it or it doesn't sell, when it comes back to you, you can just reactivate that listing. So you don't delete the listing completely. And another tip, and this was just something I heard hearsay, is that on ThredUp, if you say that you want your items back if they don't sell, which I think you have to pay for it to come back to you, that they do a better job of listing. Like if you're just going to donate things, then the assumption is they're like, well, they're not getting these back anyways, so we're not going to accept this. We're not going to accept this. It seems like there's a little bit more accountability on ThredUp's end if you're going to ask for your merchandise back, but it does cost a little bit of money. But that made sense to me. I don't know if that's true. I just heard that.
That's sneaky. But that's a good fun fact.
It's something to think about.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all so much.
Yeah.
Thank you all.
All this personality. Hope, are you listing your stuff? I hope you listed some stuff today. 6 months later, you're like, this is not for sale.
Yeah. I will say,
whatever happened to that?
Totally not talking about Mercari in this video. However, the thing I like about Mercari is when I sell something on Poshmark that I've cross-listed, you can deactivate so it doesn't show up in your like closet on Mercari. I wish not for sale items would not show up
Not
in
show
your
up.
Poshmark closet.
I agree.
Keep the solds. I don't care about that, but like I don't want to in the sharing process. I don't want to share a not for sold.
I'm always fascinated by the closets who have like 25 items and everything is not for sale. I'm like,
I'm
what are
like,
you
so
doing?
do you want to sell anything? Like,
I just don't
you
get
know,
it.
3 finger scrolls in and I haven't seen an item that's
Yeah.
available.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. And just fun fact, general tip for Poshmark in particular, always make sure that the top of your closet is items that are for sale and items that are like, I would say your best items, because you want to attract the people coming to your closet. You don't want like the dingy thing that hasn't been selling that you don't care to rephotograph. Like,
I'm always so mad when I share and then I get distracted and I go back and it's like,
ew, not that dress.
yeah, just like bad stuff. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not putting my best foot forward.
Oh my gosh, Sister Joy. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. I think that's it.
Did
And
we
I
get
think
70? I have to check over here on YouTube.
we got to 73.
Oh, see, thank you, everyone.
We're great. Well, again, everybody, links to Lori's information, her YouTube channel, her Instagram are down below. Don't forget, you can also check her website out at lorisbostonfound.com. And Lori, thank you so much for joining me again today.
I love you.
Virtual hug.
All right. All right. Thanks,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.